Don't forget to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you know when videos drop. Thanks for watching.
Well, this is the big day. This is Eclipse Day. This is the big day that everybody has been so excited about. They can't wait to talk about what may or may not happen. I can tell you one thing. The sun up over here is going to do what it normally does on every given day that I've been alive. But we're going to do what we always do every day, take care of the peacocks. We're going to be out here with our cameras. We'll videotape it, and I'm going to see if the peacocks are okay this morning, and then we'll watch them all day. But you know what? They're going to be fine by the end of the day, and tomorrow morning we'll be out here doing the chores again. So let's watch what happens during the eclipse. Well, we're in the peacock pen right now, doing what we always do every morning. I got my oat and egg that was laid last night. Peacocks are yelling. Houdini the cat is doing what he does every morning, checks out if there are any rodents. I've got Oaten right here hanging out, and the black shoulder male over here is showing off along with the cameo in the pen over there. Everything is normal around here, and I can't wait to see what happens when the eclipse comes to the birds. We'll be out here. So far, it's a perfectly normal morning. We'll see what happens. We're about ready to watch the festivities of this eclipse. Now, up above me is the sun. I can't tell you how good it is. We've let the ducks, geese, and peacocks out for the day. Mrs. Peacock's joining me and will be with me shortly as we wait for this eclipse. 60 to 80% supposed to be here on the peacock farm. And there's the sun right now, about at 1 p.m. Central. There she is. Now, we had an eclipse of clouds come by, so that's interesting. We'll see what happens, what the ducks, geese, and peacocks do when it actually gets dark, like night, when they're outside here. We'll enjoy that. In the meantime, I'm going to take you and show you seeing what the peacocks are doing over here in the pens. And nothing is out of the ordinary here on the peacock farm. And Mrs. Peacock's hanging out watching the ducks. The peacocks are just doing their things and enjoying it. And it looks like everybody's just fine. And I expect that's the case, the way it's going to be all day today. They're yelling like they always yell. They hear me talking. And we've got a couple peacocks there doing what they do, showing off who's the dominant peacock. And I see Blackie the peacock's hanging out by the cameos. So we're going to let you see the sun again, and we're going to come back in about 15 minutes and see how it is different. I see blue number 2 has decided to come out and enjoy eclipse afternoon. Wow, here we are on the peacock farm, and he's going to go to his normal spot while Blackie the peacock is hanging up on his normal spot. So far, nothing has changed around here, and I don't expect anything to be different. We'll see what happens when it gets really dark in about an hour from now. Well, we're getting close to the halfway point here on the peacock farm, and Mrs. Peacock's using that device we made earlier today, and she says she could see something. Is that true, Mrs. Peacock?
Halfway.
Is that what you say, halfway?
Halfway.
Okay, let's see what it looks like.
Little pinholes have gotten smaller.
Oh yeah, look at the pinhole here.
Yep.
I can see the half moon there. They're getting smaller. And Mrs. Peacock, you have anything to say about this situation?
It's kind of fun to watch. They also said you can watch the shadows of trees and tell when the eclipse is total.
Well, we're watching here on this nice little eclipse watcher here, and Mrs. Peacock's having a lot of fun with this, and I'm working on that other camera over there. I don't know how successful we'll be with photographing because I don't have a special lens nor a filter to put on it. We'll see what happens. We'll either be successful or not. We're about 15 minutes from the last time I talked. We'll wait another 15-20 minutes until we get really dark, and we'll see what happens if the geese, the ducks, and the peacocks actually go to bed when it gets dark. we'll be out here through that whole time. It'll be interesting to see. There's the sun. And it's starting to be a little bit less bright around here, not too much. It kind of reminds me of the time that we had back years ago, I think it was about 7 years ago when we had the total eclipse here. And it was kind of interesting and fun. We almost had a total eclipse. And Mrs. Peacock's still working on her eclipse watcher here. And she's watching the tree. It's getting a little bit less, like she says. And what do you have to say now, Mrs. Peacock?
Well, it's getting a little more covered, it looks like.
Yeah, the problem with making the homemade thing here is not totally circly, and that's a problem. But you can sort of see the half moon on the sun. Look at it there.
Instead of a circle, it's more like an oval.
Yeah, that's different. And right now, I'm sure the GoPro is picking up more light than it needs to be. Sometimes it does that, but it's starting to look kind of less sunny right now. It's kind of fun. And we should be close to our total 60 to 80%. Is that what they said, Mrs. Peacock?
They said 60 to 80% here.
Yeah, and you have to understand that Iowa is a little bit farther north than where the major total eclipse is happening on its path today. But all the birds are doing just fine. The blue peacock over here is hanging out. The ducks in the back are just doing what ducks do, looking for worms and all kinds of greens to eat, and everybody's just having a good time. Our black-shouldered peacock, we call Blackie the peacock because he's kind of cool. He's hanging out there doing what he normally does. Nothing's changed here. And I think there was a lot of extra verbiage out there about what today may bring during the eclipse. This is a normal day here on the peacock farm, and blue number 1 is having a good fight with the Oten Cameo peacock over there. And look at that. Well, this is normal behavior here on the peacock farm. You can tell. I mean, when we look up at the sun right now, there it is. Let's see if I got it in the, yep, there she is. It's not full coverage sun, but we're gonna hang out here for the rest of the day. The white peacock's just enjoying himself. You can see him here. And the peahen's just hanging out there, getting what sun's left here. And we're gonna hang out a little longer here to see what happens with the total 80 to 60% eclipse. Well, Mrs. Peacock, you've been following the eclipse very carefully over the last hour with your homemade eclipse watcher. Tell us more what you think's happening right now, Mrs. Peacock.
Well, it looks like they're looking more like circles instead of ovals, and it's getting brighter out here. So I think it's going the other direction, and the eclipse is almost over for here. I think we survived.
Yeah, in fact, the birds are having fun. You can see our geese are right by us over here. And we're reminded as we were sitting here that we were out almost in this very same spot observing a lunar eclipse. We are on our peacock farm in Minden, Iowa, watching the full moon, which is a blood moon.
That's right, and we're going to have a lunar eclipse tonight.
Yeah, it's September 27th, 2015, and it's going to be another 15 years before this happens. And right over my shoulder is the moon, and in about 20 minutes, it's going to go into an eclipse.
Yeah, isn't that something? Look.
It's not quite red yet, but it's going to get there shortly.
Yep, and then it'll be blocked out.
And that was really fun, except for it was a little bit different, wasn't it, Mrs. Peacock?
Yeah, it was a little different. It was dark out. And then once the eclipse came through, it was really dark out. And it was more difficult to see because it was dark and it was fun.
Yeah, so there we go. One thing I should note was when we got to what our total eclipse, which was about 70 to 80%, what happened was the wild birds and hawks that were flying before this event happened today got real quiet. And then all of a sudden, once the light started going back in the other direction and getting brighter, they started making more noise. And right now, as we speak, the sun is almost the brightest it's been since this morning when I did chores with the peacocks. And the good news is, all the ducks, geese, and peacocks acted the same all during the eclipse here. So we're back to normal. Isn't that fun, Mrs. Peacock?
Yes, it's fun.
Well, we'll say thanks for viewing. Hey viewers, don't forget to make a donation. The link's below.
Order the Wacky World of Peafowl books at peafowl.com.